I was going to lose my life. And it was by sheer miracle that one of the consultants that were not assigned to that word was just passing through, and he saw how pale I was. And then he called the attention of every other person that seemed to be unaware of what was going on. And why is this lady this pale? What's going on? Hi everyone, it's Phoebe again. Today I'll be sharing my story of how I lost my first baby at 32 weeks. I mean, I was far gone. People were already expecting that I would carry my own baby. And even while I was going through that period, some people would say, "Oh, congratulations, where is our baby?" And I would go home and cry. For me, I'd failed as a woman because that was my first trial at being a mother. And I just didn't understand it. At a point, I felt, God, why? I'd prayed, I'd served you since my school days. Why is this going on? And why, is this happening to me? But, while I was on the hospital bed, it got to a stage that even though it was evident that I'd lost the baby, I was going to lose my life. And it was by sheer miracle that one of the consultants that were not assigned to that word was just passing through, and he saw how pale I was. And then he called the attention of every other person that seemed to be unaware of what was going on. And why is this lady this pale? What's going on? What have you done? And then it's like they all just got up and everybody started moving. And before I knew what was happening, I was being wheeled into the theater. I was being, my life was, I was fighting for my life and all that. And then I told the Lord, I said, Lord, if you would keep me through this experience, I would serve you with my whole life. I know I'd served you while I was in school, but I would serve you even more. What is the vow that I can give at this point? Honestly, you would realize that the wish of a dying man is not more car. It's not more money. It's just more time. Another shot at life to be who you are actually meant to be. And that was what flashed before me that very day. And I said, Lord, if you would keep me from if you would bring me through this process, then I would serve you unashamedly, giving you everything. And the Lord heard my prayer. When I opened my eyes after that cesarean section, I couldn't believe it. Although the pain was there, and then I started recuperating, and then people would be asking me for the baby. Moi, that begged God to spare my life, I started being ungrateful right after that. And when people say, "Where's our baby?" instead of me to smile and say, "Well, I lost it. I believe the Lord would give me another one," I would say, "God, why?" You see, I have told you. How many times has the Lord been faithful to us and we cannot see it? We just do not understand it. Instead, we judge God by the expectations of men. This is a God that took me through that darkest moment of my life. And instead of being grateful, instead of now working on what he asked me to work on and what I promised him I would work on, I was throwing it back to him to say, God, you see, people can't even see you're faithful here. So dear marketplace vessel, what is that thing that you've been through? Is it a loss of job? Lack of promotion? Maybe that place was actually meant for you and you didn't get it. Would you still judge God faithful? The Bible says Sarah judged him faithful, even after she lost all her strength. And it was by faith she received strength to conceive again. Today, receive strength to conceive. Not just a baby, like I eventually did, because now I have 4 beautiful children. Not just a physical baby, your dreams, your ideas, the things that you had asked God for. It is time to believe him again. And remember the vows that you've made at those lowest, periods of your life. Believe God and determine that your focus will be to run that vision right now. will be to focus and obey him and exalt him and glorify him in your life. Not thinking about the things that have gone and the things that are about to do or the expectations of men. Think about this today. God bless you. Hi, everyone. My name is Phoebe, and I'm the convener of Marketplace Vessels Conference biannual event. Before the recently concluded conference, the Lord has been nudging me to share my stories. And I believe as someone that has spent over 20 years in the corporate circle, we have stories that you can resonate with. I have stories. And I believe that as I share the stories, that you would recognize the things the Lord would have you do, either as a corporate person, a professional, an entrepreneur, or a leader. I believe that the Lord would speak to your